Have you ever sat down at the end of the month, opened your banking app, and thought to yourself, where did all my money go? Like, you know you worked hard, you know you didn't do anything crazy, you weren't out buying luxury watches or flying first class, but somehow, after bills, groceries, gas, random expenses, and life just happening, there's almost nothing left. And then you see people online talking about saving money, investing, building wealth, hitting six figures, and you just sit there thinking, how is everyone else doing this so easily, and why does it feel impossible for me? If that thought has ever crossed your mind, this video is for you. Because today we're talking about something almost nobody explains honestly. Why your first $5,000 is harder than your next $50,000. And not just a little harder. I mean dramatically harder. So hard that millions of people never get past it. And the worst part? They blame themselves. They think they're bad with money. They think they're irresponsible. They think they're behind in life. But the reality is much more uncomfortable and much more freeing. The system is stacked against you at the beginning. And once you understand why, everything changes. My name is Zach, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, investing, and why building wealth feels impossible at first, and then suddenly feels easier. If you're someone who struggles to save money, feels like your paycheck disappears the moment it hits your account, or wonders why financial freedom feels so far away, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. All right? Let's talk about the truth. Here's the thing most people never say out loud. Saving your first $5,000 has almost nothing to do with investing. It has almost nothing to do with math. And it has everything to do with psychology, pressure, and survival. Before you have savings, every dollar has a job: rent, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, phone bill. There's no extra money. There's just money that hasn't been spent yet. So when someone says, just save more, it sounds simple, but it's not realistic. According to the Federal Reserve, nearly 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing money. Let that sink in. $400. That means millions of people are one car repair, one medical bill, or one unexpected expense away from financial chaos. So if saving feels hard, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're operating without margin. And margin changes everything. Now, let's talk about numbers. Let's say you make $50,000 a year. After taxes, you might take home around $3,800 per month. Your rent might be $1,500. Groceries could be $400. Transportation, insurance, utilities, phone, subscriptions. Suddenly, you're at $3,000 or more. That leaves maybe $800 if you're lucky. And from that, you're supposed to save? This is where people start negotiating with themselves. I'll save next month. I'll wait until I make more. I'll start after this bill is paid off. And months turn into years. Now let's say you actually commit. You decide to save $500 per month. That already feels aggressive. That's money you could use to make life easier right now. But you do it anyway. $500 per month means 10 full months to reach $5,000. Almost a year. Now here's the brutal part. After 10 months of sacrifice, $5,000 doesn't feel impressive. It doesn't feel rich. It doesn't feel like success. It just feels fragile. And that emotional mismatch, huge effort, small visible reward, is why so many people quit right there. Here's what most people don't realize. The first $5,000 is not about money. It's about identity. You are rewiring how you think. You're going from spender to saver, from reactive to intentional. And identity change is uncomfortable. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. Your old habits want one thing, your new goals want another, and your brain hates conflict. That's why saving feels painful. That's why discipline feels exhausting. That's why temptation feels louder when you're trying to improve your finances. Your brain is literally fighting you. Now let's talk about delayed gratification. Humans are wired to prioritize now over later. Spending gives you instant pleasure. Saving gives you delayed security. and your brain struggles to value something it can't feel yet. That's why people will spend $50 on something they don't need, but hesitate to save the same amount. One feels real, the other feels abstract. This is why your first $5,000 feels so hard. You're doing something that goes against thousands of years of human wiring. Now here's where it gets interesting. Once you hit that $5,000 mark, something subtle changes. You feel calmer. You stop panicking about small expenses. You stop feeling like one mistake will ruin you. And that emotional relief is powerful. This is where momentum begins. Here's what most people don't realize. Saving money creates confidence. Confidence changes behavior. Behavior changes outcomes. Once you've saved $5,000, you stop seeing yourself as bad with money. You start trusting yourself. You start making better decisions automatically. And that's why the next $50,000 feels easier. Not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because your system is finally working. Now let's talk about compounding. The first $5,000 usually sits in cash. It's your safety net, your emergency fund. And that's okay. But once you're stable, investing enters the picture. And this is where math finally helps you. Let's say you invest consistently, $500 per month into a low-cost index fund. Historically, the market averages around 7% per year after inflation. That means your money starts growing even when you're not adding more. And here's the key difference. Your first $5,000 required 100% effort. Your next $50,000 requires far less effort per dollar. Because time and compounding do part of the work. Think of it like riding a bike uphill. At the start, every push hurts. But once you reach the top, gravity helps you. The climb is brutal. The descent is easier. Wealth works the same way. Now let's address the objections. Zach, I don't make enough money. Income matters, but habits matter more. Someone saving $200 per month consistently will outperform someone saving nothing while waiting for a raise. Waiting feels safe. Action creates progress. What if the market crashes? Markets go up and down, but time smooths volatility. The longer you invest, the less individual downturns matter. Risk decreases with patience. What if I mess up? You will. Everyone does. Mistakes are part of learning. The real danger is doing nothing. Here's what most people don't realize. The biggest risk is never starting. Now let me tell you a story. I know someone who struggled for years to save even $2,000. Every time they got close, something happened. Car trouble, medical bills, life. Eventually, they automated their savings, even small amounts. Over time, the balance grew. Not fast, but steadily. And one day, they realized they had over $10,000 saved. That moment changed how they saw themselves. They stopped feeling behind. They stopped feeling anxious, and their financial decisions improved overnight. That's the power of momentum. So what can you do today? Automate your savings. Make it boring. Make it consistent. Track your spending honestly. Awareness alone changes behavior. Start small if needed. Progress beats perfection. Celebrate milestones. Your brain needs reinforcement. And most importantly, be patient. The first $5,000 is the hardest money you will ever save. After that, everything gets easier. Not because life stops being hard, but because you're no longer starting from zero. If you're struggling right now, you're not failing. You're at the hardest stage. But if you keep going, the next $50,000 will come faster than you expect. And once momentum kicks in, money stops feeling like an enemy. If this video helped you see money differently, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I make videos like this every week to help you think clearly about money, avoid common mistakes, and build long-term financial freedom. Wealth isn't built by shortcuts. It's built by surviving the boring phase. And it all starts with your first $5,000.